For anyone that wants to keep a neat and tidy home, robot vacuums are a godsend. Not everyone likes vacuuming every week, let alone every day, and not everyone has the time to. That's where a robot vacuum comes into play that can be scheduled to clean daily and lighten your cleaning load when it's time to do a thorough cleaning. Is there a perfect robot vacuum out there? Not really, but there are some that come close. Take for instance the Yeedi Vac Station robot vacuum combo that has many of the features you'll want in one at a price that beats out much of its competition. So what makes the Yeedi Vac Station so appealing? Basically, this is a robot vacuum with a self-emptying function, meaning no more having to manually empty out the dustbin inside the vacuum. The vacuum does its deed, then heads back to the vac station, and it sucks up all the dirt and dust into a built-in disposal bag that you empty out later when it's full, but more on that later. Other features include a built-in mopping function, so the Yeedi robot vacuum can mop and vac at the same time. For the vac, suction is rated at 3,000 PA with variable suction power depending on the surface it's cleaning. It can do this because it can apparently identify what type of surfaces it is cleaning and adjusts suction accordingly. The Yeedi robot vacuum can also map your home's floor plan and identify different rooms so that in conjunction with the smart app, you can choose which rooms to clean or not clean. The smart app also allows for scheduling, editing the map data, set cleaning preferences, and overall cleaning stats. Lastly, the battery in the unit supposedly has a 200 min runtime, which does seem to be longer than most other robot vacuums. Setting up the Yeedi Vac Station is a fairly simple affair. The vac station itself does require some assembly with the canister portion and the base needing to be screwed together. There's also a little ramp extension that needs to be inserted to the bottom of the base. The power cable is located on the back of the giant canister with a rather long power cable, making it easier to place where you want it to go. You'll have to download the Yeedi app too as part of the setup. It can be downloaded for both iOS and Android. You will need to set up an account and then add the Yeedi Vac Station to it. You'll have to then add your Wi-Fi network to the vacuum, and that's basically it. I do suggest charging your vacuum first before using it. Speaking of which, the Yeedi robot vacuum portion just needs the installation of the rotating brush and the removal of any stickers that were on it. You can choose to install the mop pad or not depending on if you want to use that feature. What's most important when it comes to these robot vacuums is their cleaning ability. The Yeedi Vac Station so far seems quite capable. I just recently changed my floors upstairs to wood, and the Yeedi unit has so far been able to pick up all the dust and debris from the installation. It's been about 2 weeks since I've had them installed, and after about a week of daily vacuuming, the floors are looking spotless. They feel clean too, and I don't feel like I'm stepping on any particles of dust or dirt. I also have 2 cats, and it has no issues with sucking up cat hair. My cats, however, are short hair varieties, so not sure how this would handle pet hairs that are much longer. You might also notice that the Yeedi Robot Vac does not include litter like some other more advanced RoboVacs, but instead has a camera attached to it that is pointing straight up. I'm not entirely sure how having a camera pointing straight up at the ceiling helps it map out your room, but the instructions do say to let it operate in a well-lit environment. Maybe it detects the edges of your ceilings and walls to approximate where the floors would be, who knows. It does seem to work though, so I won't question it. Not everything is perfect though. I should mention that I also have a few area rugs laying around, and the Yeedi does change suction power when going over them. However, it does seem like sometimes it has issues switching from hard floor to rugs if these rugs are kind of thick. Sometimes I have to give it a little nudge, or it just gives up and turns around. It also seems to do each room twice for some reason, and I haven't figured out how to change that or if it just does that intentionally. I should also mention that every now and then it'll become super confused when returning back to the charging station, but this isn't the only vacuum that has done that. Upon returning to the vac station, it'll put itself into recharge mode, and if it sees fit, it'll automatically empty out its internal dustbin. I should mention that when it does this, it is really loud, so you'll want to schedule the vac at a time when either no one is home or no one is sleeping. The little waste bag in the vac station seems pretty large and should hold quite a bit of dust and dirt before needing to be removed. And yes, you will need to replace these after with new ones, so keep that in mind. Of course, you can still empty out the vac manually if need be. The Yeedi Vac Station is an attractive solution for those who want a robot vacuum but don't want to deal with having to empty it out on a regular basis. The cleaning process is very thorough, and from my usage so far, it seems to clean every inch of the space you need it to clean. The mopping feature is nice too, and I like that you can remove the mop too when you don't need it. Usually, you don't have to mop daily, so it's okay to remove this. For the most part, operations went fairly smoothly with the occasional hiccup here and there, but nothing that was a deal breaker. In fact, I've now replaced one of my other vacs with this one, mainly due to the mopping and self-emptying feature. I'm still a tiny bit iffy on the upward-facing camera, but so far it's working well. So with that said, while this isn't the cheapest robot vacuum around, the inclusion of the Vac Station self-emptying dock does make it one of the least expensive self-emptying systems out there.